Ranting, reflecting, reasoning, reckoning.
The Huddle, with corporate cars delivering unbeatable prices on luxury European vehicles.
And hello to Josie Pagani. Hi, Josie.
Hi, Larry.
And Cameron Slater from Whale Oil. Hello, Cam.
Hey, Larry.
We'll go with you first, Cameron, tonight. Len Brown apologising to councillors today, this after telling the world across the weekend, more or less anyway, I believe, that's the way I interpret it, that the EY report basically cleared him. He's now going to be censured by the council on Thursday. How do you see it?
There's a funny, distorted view of the world if he thinks that report cleared him. For a start, he orchestrated a very narrow terms of reference, and then, came out with a report that, contrary to his public statements that no council resources had gone into conducting his affair, we find out that he's used the mayoral car as a personal taxi for his mistress. We find out that he got some freebies as a result of him being the mayor, that those were undeclared. He's breached the code of conduct for elected members, even though he doesn't think that applies to him. And it's just an ongoing pathological type of behaviour that we've seen since the time he was mayor of Manukau, when he had dodgy spending busted then. And he hasn't learned from that, and he carries on regardless.
Josie, I think we have a mayor here who is hopelessly compromised. What's your view of this?
Look, I think that the council have done the right thing, and they've given him a censure, which is a blimmin' good telling off. They don't like the fact that it's damaged their reputation as much as his, and they don't like the fact that he had an affair. But look, the truth is, guys, that Ernst & Young report has cleared him of the misuse of council resources during the affair. He didn't even buy a bottle of wine with council money. He didn't misuse his position to get his mistress a job. All he's done, and I know we don't like it, but he's not declared the fact that he got an upgrade to his room. Well, look, Cam, every National Party minister or former Labour Party minister has probably failed to declare an airline upgrade at one point. Are you saying that those are grounds for resignation? Because we're going to end up with a hell of a lot of them.
What we've got here, though, is a situation where we have a mayor who's out of control, who's using his position to his own advantage. The report did not exonerate him, Josie. And he did use council resources. And on top of that, the rules are very clear around donations, very clear. And, in fact, Len Brown instigated the code of conduct coming in at Auckland Council. Hang on a second, Josie. And before we go there, remember we have a former mayoral candidate who's currently before the courts for misdeclarations of donations. Why isn't Len Brown now being hauled before the courts for the same thing?
Yeah, but you're setting the bar so high. I mean, you are literally saying that every minister who, for example, hasn't declared a room upgrade or an airline upgrade is
well, Josie, Josie,
we had Clayton Cosgrove, who's the world's most unluckiest traveller, who lost 3 suitcases and had to order 3 suits.
But Cam, hold on a minute. The truth is, we wouldn't be talking about this. You wouldn't even care. I wouldn't care if he hadn't had an affair. The only reason we're talking about it is that he had an affair and you went and publicised that. So now what you're saying is that any public
building.
Okay, Josie, I think you've got to be careful on some stuff here, because the free hotel rooms at Sky City, for example, where Mr. Brown changed his view on the convention deal, I think, he's getting into dodgy territory there, Josie.
I don't like what he's done. He's had an affair. He's lied about it, not just to his wife. I mean, he's lied about it, to everybody. But that's what you do when you have an affair. I don't like it, but it's not. If you're going to start saying that anyone who holds a public office who lies about a hotel room or lies about his having an affair to his wife is going to resign, I'm just saying we're going to end up with some very bland people in public office.
If you breach the code of conduct, Josie, then there has to be, this is the problem really where we get down to it. Nobody cares about him getting his leg over it. What we cared about is that when he was asked, is there any public resources, he said no. And when they said, oh no, I paid for all of the hotel rooms, that was a lie. Because he had to then say, oh actually, I forgot about that, despite the fact that his mistress already outed him for it. And that is what the nub of the issue is. But here's where the problem is. We can't get rid of him. We have no ability to recall. There's no penalties in the law. There's no penalties in the code of conduct. If I'm advising a politician, I advise them to lie like flatfish and then stand there and watch while everyone is frustrated because they can't get rid of you. He's a lame duck mayor. We can't get rid of him for another 2 years, but he's not going to be able to achieve anything, and his legacy is going to be just known as a rooting ratbag mayor.
Got to come back in a moment. Josie Pagani and Cameron Slater on the Huddle. It is now 14 to 6.
Larry Williams Drive with the new ANZ, the bank that gives you more.
Remaining moments with Cameron Slater and Josie Pagani. Josie, issue number 2, the government increasing the rebates for movie and television industry. Avatar, the next 3 movies will be made here. They'll get a rebate of 25%. How do you see it?
This is great news, and it's just in the nick of time, actually, because the industry's been in panic mode, thinking that the days of being able to get the big productions over here were numbered. And in fact, this looks like the opposite's going to be true. It's the right approach, Larry, because it's industry-wide. It's saying that this incentive, this subsidy, increasing it to 20% or 25%, will apply right across the board to any international studio that wants to come and make a film here. So it's not sort of cherry-picking your favourite companies, whether it be Warner Brothers or Rio Tinto or whatever. And I used to work in the industry. I know that the big studios love us. They love the fact that we're good crew, we've got a reputation for innovation, we've got world-class facilities here. But the problem has always been, in the last few years, that 15% tax subsidy was just not enough. We weren't competitive.
What do you think, Cam?
In front of it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of subsidies, and I guess this is not quite a subsidy, it's a rebate. Which means that you're forgiving a little bit of tax, but you're getting the benefit of all of that spending coming into the country. But the
you're a good socialist, Cam. You're sounding like a really good socialist. That's great.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Josie. If it's good enough for the movie industry and it benefits the movie industry coming to New Zealand and building things and doing things here and employing Kiwis and generating income and dropping billions of dollars of revenue here, let's apply that rebate across all businesses.
I think that's a good case. I think there's a case for that. And in fact, that was always my issue with Rio Tinto, was that why aren't we looking at the aluminium industry generally and thinking how can we promote, whether it's designers in aluminium, why aren't we making the iPod cases that iPods come in New Zealand? So you're absolutely right, Cam, and it's good to see you and Stephen Joyce joining us on the left on that.
Okay.
The government, though, is going to get hammered now because you've had all of these crying liberal elite arts bludgers out there saying we need more handouts, we need more this, we need more that. The government's now delivered that. They'll probably do an Oliver Twist and say, please, sir, can I have some more? And then on top of that, they'll then start saying to, in the public, especially the Green Taliban, because they love doing that, turn around and say, this is just John Key helping his rich mates. So I feel sorry for the government. They've done the right thing, but they're going to cop it anyway.
Thank you. Run out of time. That is Josie Pagani and Cameron Slater. Murray Deaker to follow. It's 8 to 6.